Bremer
just blocks Doué off. That's all. Poor ball in, and then he skips past him. If he doesn't get him with his leg, he's getting him with his arm. Bremer, he will not pass Desiree Doué.
A professional foul from the Juventus man.
Yeah, considering it's a friendly game, there's been some tackles, haven't there? Red cards, yellow cards.
Good to see a wry smile on the face of Didier Deschamps. He's 176th game as the France national team coach. And he'll be passing his tactics brought over to a legend, Zinedine Zidane, in the summer. Well, he's had all the great jobs in football, hasn't he? Carlo Ancelotti winning the league in all 5 of the top European divisions. Champions League success on 5 occasions. He has been involved in their national team football before as the assistant to Arrigo Sacchi back at the World Cup in 1994, of course in the United States. But he's got a very tough job on here to make something out of this assortment of Brazilian players, make a team out of them. Vinicius Junior to Douglas Santos. So a little bit one-dimensional from Brazil. Give it to Vinny and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's hard for Vinny because, as I said, Michael Olise's putting in a shift and a half. He just try and help Malo Gusto out as much as he can.
Referee offering some protection to Vinicius Junior, and a free kick and another test of the French defence. Too acute an angle to go direct for goal, especially at this level of football.
Yeah, he just attacks Gusto this side, gets his pass away. I mean, it wasn't really a foul, was it?
Mignon is desperate to keep a clean sheet. He has these defenders almost stepping on his toes. They're defending so deeply. The goalkeeper surprisingly let it go. And he needs a touch, and he gets a touch. And Brazil are back in it.
Bremer, yeah, it was a scruffy goal, but actually it was a really nice cross in from the free kick. Give the Brazilian fans something to cheer about.
Well, his first goal for his country, for Bremer. He'll take them from anywhere. They're famed for scoring imaginative goals, but that was a bread and butter goal from the Juventus man. And it tends 12 minutes now.
Yeah, more importantly, they're back in the game. Nice cross in to the far post. Gets recycled back by Casemiro. He's well onside, Bremer. It's just whether the ball to Casemiro was out to the far post, but suggests that it was still in. Enrique's in, and Bremer's there, the scruffy part, getting his big right foot onto that one. They all count.
One he's never going to forget, his first goal for his country.
Teo Hernandez is down.
Yeah,
It's a sore one. I don't know what happens in that melee.
And if he has to go off, his brother Lucas is on the bench tonight. Deschamps is looking like, how do I break the news to his club manager that he's picked up a knock on international duty.
I don't know where he's on the pitch there, but he's not in the penalty area, is he, son?
You're heartless, Marco.
I don't know where he fell. I don't know where he's fallen over. I like to see where he gets injured again. Oh, here we go. That's what I mean. That's why I said he wasn't on the pitch. So, it was a naughty challenge, actually. We didn't see that. Oof. That's a terrible challenge in a game like this.
The referee certainly saw it. Apology not accepted.
Ibanez he was way late there though, Rob.
As you say, there is a code, a professional code in games like this, that you don't, one, go out to injure an opponent, and you don't
make
go with
challenges
a challenge
like that in a game like this.
He won't be getting his shirt at the end of the game. Now France, 9 minutes to hang on to a 1-goal lead, but you get the impression they could just turn it on if they really wanted to. Two sets of players who set themselves the highest standard, but subconsciously they will be holding something back as they go into the crucial final weeks of their club season. There is Vinicius Junior, 2 to tango with. Looking for João Pedro, but João Pedro's legs just went to jelly.
Yeah, Konate just gives him a little tiny push, doesn't he?
Brazil have won the last 2 matchups between these two countries. Last time in 2015, they'd settle for a draw tonight if they could pull it off. Vinicius Junior gets a corner out of Konate. And look at it, it's what he does at Real Madrid. He's doing it to the adopted Brazilian supporters here in Boston, cheerleading them.
Getting a little bit more space down this left-hand side now.
There's a sly look at the stadium clock to ram in a rather heated conversation with goalkeeper Maignan. Spun away from the keeper, but an easy save takes it out of the evening. It's Casemiro again, who's maybe been the most impressive, certainly the most active player for Brazil.
Very much so. Still vitally important for the Brazilian national team, isn't he? Carlo Ancelotti knows him very, very well through his time at Real Madrid. Really trusts him, and rightly so. They need a bit of experience in there, and he's the main man, isn't he?
João Pedro draws Konate, who stands his ground. Referee.
Another big lean, isn't he? He does that all the time, Konate. Leans on people. Sometimes he gets away with it, sometimes he doesn't, but you see him here. Just that big left arm comes right across.
When he hits you, you know about it.
Oof. The last kickings of Casemiro as he leaves the field.
Well, he's a definite for the World Cup finals. Casemiro put in a proper captain's performance. Acknowledged by Ancelotti, an opportunity for Gabriel Sara. One of the players called up for the first time. He's had a couple of good seasons at Galatasaray in Turkey. Now can the former Norwich City man step up a standard?
Yeah, this is Carlo Ancelotti trying to have a look at as many players as possible. There was a few debutants in the sides, wasn't he? He wants to have a look at what they're like in the dressing room, what they're like in the hotel, of course, what they're like on the pitch, but what type of characters they are. Vini Junior has taken over the captain's armband from Casemiro.
Sara to Douglas Santos. Reminder, football back here at the weekend as Boston Legacy are hosting Utah Royals in the NWSL, 12 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2 or ESPN+. Join Jen Hildreth and Ian Sanderson for that one. the supporters staying till the end. Might be a rare opportunity for many of these football fans to see with their own eyes the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Junior. Tchouaméni, cameo performance from Rafinha, taken off at half-time. Cross clearance. Lise. Understandably at the moment, France playing within themselves.
Yeah, I just think it's important now to see the game out for France under a little bit of pressure numerically, of course. Now Brazil have got the goal at trying to push to try and get the equaliser, so France just want to win the game. I know it's only a friendly, lots of substitutions, but still you might as well win the game.
Sara to Douglas Santos. Pereira to Brema. Vinicius Junior. He's cat and mouse with the defender. Looks like he ran out of space. Player still got to sort out his long-term future at Real Madrid. That man got the best out of him at club level.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't exactly see eye to eye with his successor Xabi Alonso, did he?
Nope.
I would imagine that Didier Deschamps will be in much demand when he becomes available
yeah,
for hire in the
actually.
summer.
That'll be interesting, won't it? Where he's going to turn up, because his record for France has been exceptional. So you'd expect him to be offered really good jobs. I don't know whether he speaks Spanish. He'll certainly speak English with his time at Chelsea, you would think, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
I don't know whether he speaks Spanish.
Played for Valencia, didn't he, for a while
yeah,
as well?
He did, yeah. Be interesting to see. He would definitely have opportunities.
He got Juventus promoted. He got Monaco to a Champions League final. Has a fine club CV.
He will definitely get plenty of opportunities. Certainly in the Premier League, they change managers like they like the rain. So there'll be definitely opportunities there. La Liga, I don't know really, but I presume Real Madrid will be looking for a coach come the summer.
Gusto to Thuram. There'll be a number of players like Thuram that would really like to impress the manager, but they understand that they've got to keep it disciplined, hang on to the one goal lead with, what, 90 seconds of regulation time remaining. Keep ball from the 10 men of France. Surely Brazil have got to go chasing it, need some hunger, some work ethic. France are getting that from Gusto.
You're right though, Rob. Brazil have kept the ball quite comfortably, haven't they, the last minute or so?
N'Golo Kante, goalkeeper comes a long way, and a determined dive from Ederson. It was a very quiet second half.
That was Malo Gusto, that was the right back
Gusto,
in that centre forward spot. Now Elise is going to have to cover for him to mark Vinny Junior.
I think couldn't they maybe be concerned for his position at right back, because Malo Gusto's had a great game.
Yeah, he did well actually. Vinny Junior did really well. Corner, last minute of the game, build pressure, see if you can get the equaliser. Of course there's going to be plenty of minutes injury time, the amounts of substitutions we've had.
Gabriel Sara hangs it in the air. Another test of the France defence. They failed the last one when Brema scored. Doué selling short. They've still got plenty of players forward here as well. Oh, too much put on that, or was it? It was a flamboyant attempt at a finish.
Should have done better, actually, Bremer. He's the centre half, got the one goal.
It's one of those you keep having to check. What's he doing up
ball
there?
In by Enrique again. The left peg, that left foot of his, nice outswinger. This would be a better angle actually to see Bremer's volley. Ooh, yeah, he has a good sighter of it. Just comes off it at the end, slices it slightly, but he should have done better.
He's given his mark of the slip as well, hadn't he?
Yeah. Forgive him because he's a centre defender. He's done well though since he come on at half time. Enrique, the 20, work well off the right, work well off the left, as we see the last of Elise. Kalulu's on.
And Kalulu making
more
two
subs.
changes, yeah. Gusto is off. Pierre Kalulu will take his place in defence. A minimum of 7 minutes added on by the referee.
Exactly, Ush come off as it's come on for Elise. Another youngster. Abundance of talent again.
They just have a flow of players coming
Yes,
through,
they
don't
do.
they?
You've almost changed the team, France.
Tell me about it.
I know.
I'm sure they'll mix things up as well for the game we bring you on Sunday against Colombia. Well, there'll be one final charge from Brazil. A drop misses out, but then the wrong pass at the wrong time and nowhere close to freeing Vinicius Junior.
Yeah, he was unlucky, Enrique. He's done really well, as I mentioned before. Here's the goal, the Mbappe goal.
Look at the afterburners.
Yeah, but Emma's no chance of catching him once he's away like that. One touch, one thing on his mind, and flipping it over the goalie.
Offside. Well, they keep up this very impressive run, 8 games since defeat against Spain in the semi-finals of the Nations League. Maybe 7 wins out of 8. Meanwhile, contrasting for Carlo Ancelotti, going to be the 3rd loss in 6 matches. Is he explaining how he scored that goal? Good news for Real Madrid, excellent news for France as well. Bad news for the top European teams. The referee showing yellow card.
Yellow card for the sub.
Yeah, time wasting.
Yeah, time wasting Akliouche. And then he gets then he finishes off with that.
As you say, he's a great young talent, stepping up a standard. Playing with the big boys. Douglas Santos, little 1-2 with Vinicius Junior. Akliouche almost thought about bringing him down then. It could have been 2 quick-fire yellow cards. He doesn't part of that challenge either, does he? Vinicius Junior drifting inside to see the supporters staying right to the end. Of course, most of them are Brazilian fans, hoping their heroes can find the equalising goal against the 10 men of France. No foul, referee says continue against the 9 men of France now at the moment. Vinicius again, fans get on the edge of the seats. France rocking back. Job well done, and again they'll just play down the clock if they can.
Yeah, they need to get the ball in the area. That's where they need to get the ball. It's all a bit slow. France have got everybody back. Need to turn them round slightly.
Ball is laid in again. Good defending. Konate hoisted away. Ancelotti's team needs to really show a little bit more urgency, determination and drive here. Game is slipping away from them. Experienced French players have it under control. Douglas Santos. And he needs no introduction. Vinny Jr. Cuts it inside. Shoot is the demand, they play it through! Oh, and Vinny Jr. had a glorious opportunity to equalise in minute 97.
What a ball by Bremer. I don't know whether it comes off the post this. It was that quick. But it was a fantastic ball off Bremer. Oh no, he just completely mishits it. Goes with his wrong foot, goes with his right foot instead of sticking it with his left. Vinny Jr., it's a great opportunity, last kick of the game virtually. Why doesn't he go with his left foot, Rob? Open his left foot up, just let it bounce off his left foot. Decided to flip it, as if he's been a bit too smart.
Well, it's beyond the reach of Thiago, but certainly within the periphery of Vinicius Jr. to equalise. And if there's one player that Brazil had on the field that they want to fall to the boot of, it will be the golden boots of Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, I felt he went with the wrong foot.
Will he be teased by Kylian Mbappe that he scored and Vinicius hasn't? The referee's played beyond the minimum of 7 minutes he said he would add to the game. France just playing down the clock. Maybe they've still got a goal in. Akluch.
Yeah, just keep it down that end of the pitch now. Or not. Oh, he's nearly tripped him up again. Akluch would have been off.
I know. Well, that is a textbook tackle from N'Golo Kante. Vinny Jr. keeps the momentum flowing. But France regroup, and surely they've seen it out now. Carlo Ancelotti does not have a lot of time on his hands. Croatia and Panama coming up, but they have been outclassed tonight. Hugs and handshakes, they've done it the hard way. France, under the expert leadership of Didier Deschamps. Steve, in a nutshell, fully deserved?
Yeah, it was an unusual game, wasn't it, with the sending off? But yeah, I think they've got more class, haven't they, France? Even though Brazil could have equalised late on.
Well, thanks to Steve McManaman, the game that held all the agreements. Great goal from Mbappe, red card to TK, Bremer scoring 2-1 to France.